Hi everyone, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible, sir.
Yeah. So, hello guys, welcome to this session. This is a basic session which will teach you how to make a IoT device which will measure the water level in your tank, as well as you can like tap a button from anywhere in this world and you can turn on your water pump, and as well as monitor it with live feedback, and as well as you can turn off it wherever you want, any way you want, anywhere you want. So that's a basic introduction for me. I don't think so I need a much more introduction. Yeah. So the connections. So basically, this whole thing, this whole IoT thing is a system which will connect your hardware or any kind of application to the internet, and basically it will send data to our server and to the client. It will interchange or the data between the client and the server. So what I have used in here is I have used three APIs. The APIs are available in the Bolt Cloud. The APIs are Digital Write High API, Digital Write Low API, and Serial Read API. And the hardware which I have used in here are the HCSR04 ultrasonic sensor, which has basically the four legs in it, the Node MCU, the famous Node MCU, the Bolt module. How can I forget it? It is the like heart of everything here. And the relay. This relay is special because it can handle very high voltages, 250 volts of AC and 30 volts of DC. So, and in the website which I have used is using React.js, and basically React.js is something which will help you to create any kind of apps with zero loading. Now, what does it mean? Zero loading application means that in a single page, whatever, like if I give you an example, that when you open Zomato in mobile app or even in the website in your computer, when you place an order, have you ever noticed that uh, page, it does not reload, it does never reload, right? When you click the order, when you do the payment, when you check out some dishes, so it does not reload. So this is a single page application which can be made easily with React.js. CSS, everyone I think so here knows that it is used to style our sheets, and a plate of JavaScript by and what I meant by this thing is that JavaScript is the key to everything. It is the soul, it is the knowledge, it is the brain of your website, right? So I will be sharing the circuit diagram. Don't laugh it, I'm not a good artist. And here it is. Yes. So basically what is happening in here, for an instance, assume that this bulb is a pump. For simplification, I have like done this thing because if I would have connected the whole thing in the tank and with motor, it would not be possible for me to like go up and down to show you people what it is really like. There are some people new joining in, so don't worry people, I have not like told everything in here. It's just the beginning. You will get everything once you see the video. Anyways, so this is the HCSR04 sensor, ultrasonic sensor, and what it does is, okay, so here's a poll. Here's a poll. Would you like to see this thing in action, or would you like to understand what is going on and then you will see in action? What do you want? Tell me in chats. You want demo? Okay, fine then. Yes. So this is an industrial grade water level sensor. Basically what it does is, this is the ultrasonic sensor which is measuring the distance of distance of it from the ground, and it does it so with ultrasonic waves. So I will tell you the mechanism in a bit, right? But listen up, this is a relay thing, this is my Node MCU, and this is my Bolt IoT module, right? And okay, let's test it now. Now if I am mimicking the pump system with a bulb right now. Here is the bulb. Now if I click on the on button here, see the pump is on, and clicking on the off button the pump is off, right? So now let's measure the distance, what it is actually. If I'm keeping it in here, it's about 70 to 65 centimeter from the ground, right? I have to wait for 30 seconds or so because it was in a ideal state for about 2 minutes now. So there is a problem in the API calling because of the delay. Just wait for 30-40 seconds and it will be working completely fine. See, it is giving me the distance from the very bottom to the very top where it is situated. The distance can vary by 4 to 3 centimeters depending on the conditions. Here in this room, air is continuously flowing, so it might be a problem. See, now the exact distance is coming. Since it was in a very ideal state for a very long time, that is the reason it was not giving the correct measurements at the time, but after a minute or so it is now giving the complete correct information. See here, 71 centimeter from the very bottom, it's 71 centimeter. And here is my thing. Now if I keep it in here, let it be, it is mimicking that the water level is in here actually, and it is a sensor, right? So just wait for a second or so, it will fetch the data and it will be updating soon. I have given the delay for 15 seconds for C. Now check the computer. Here it is about 10 centimeters, right? And check the distance from here. I will be measuring it with a measure tape or a scale. I have it with me, I guess. Yeah, I have a scale with me. So it's about here. It's about here. So yeah, what it is exactly at 10 centimeter of the scale. So it's completely working fine. Thank you. Now let's talk about the relay module. This relay module is very powerful. As I have mentioned earlier, that this relay module can support or handle would be the right word, can support up to 250 voltage AC and 30 voltage of DC. So it's a very awesome thing, right? DC plus, the middle one is DC minus, and this one is in. And here this one is NO. I will be explaining what is NO. This is COM and this is NC. So how a pump is working, or how any kind of electrical appliance is working, let it be a washing machine, it will work. So how it is. So for simplicity, I am considering a bulb in here. I am drawing a bulb in here. It's a bulb. I know it does not look like a bulb, it looks like a balloon, I guess. Anyways, so it has a positive, it has a negative terminal. We all are familiar with it, right? So what I will do is any of them, let it be minus or let it be plus, any of them. But for your convenience, I will be taking this thing, right? So let it be a wire in here, another wire in here, and it is the like the positive and negative terminal of both. Like it is connected to the wall socket where it is in the pins in the wall socket, and here is the, like in our homes there are pins, 2-pin circuits. So it is connected in here. Note, this is the negative one. I'm like giving it a new color so it is not mixed up. Yeah. So why I have given a cut in here? Why the cut is here? Because I will be joining this thing with NO and I will be joining this thing with COM. Now Now you can do it that you can join this one with NC. It completely depends how your code is working. It completely depends on what API call you are doing from the Bolt IoT platform. So I am joining both of these things. And here, what is DC plus? DC plus is basically 5-volt input, because this is a relay module, right? This is a relay module. It does need some power to work, and this type of high powered module, it does need a 5-volt to work properly. So here 5-volt is given. Here DC minus is, of course, we all know that ground we denote as minus. And what is this in? While this is the main thing that will set that this should be giving high here, a high here, or low here. Now what do we mean by high and low? Well, in this relay circuit, there is a, like, I will show you a picture in a bit. There is a box in this relay circuit. There is a box kind of thing which has a transformer. We also know it as optocoupler. So which has a transformer, and who are new to this field, so I will be just talking in a natural language, in a layman's language. We can call it as a switch. We all know when a switch is connected, then current flows. If it is not connected, it will not flow. It will be stuck in here. It will not flow. They will get angry and they will be stuck in here fighting to get them. Please let us go, let us go. But no, here is no bridge to make them go. So when the bridge is joined, they rush towards each other, right? This is a thing. Now, whenever in this case, that is the NO. NO is normally open. I suggest you note it down because this is the important term. I have confused myself a number of times by this. NO is normally open and C is normally closed, right? Now NO, what it is doing here is when the common wire, when the common wire is connected in here, and another thing is connected in here, it is the same wire. Because if I am giving a low input in the in pin, if I am giving a low input, right, what it will do in case of this NO and COM is they will connect these things. They will connect. Now the circuit is what? Complete, and the bulb glows, right? And if I give high in here, what will happen? This circuit will get closed. Where is the eraser? Yeah, here's the eraser. This circuit will get closed. There is no connection between the wires. They are again fighting. Please let us go. Please let us go. But no, hey, you have not given the low input. So how can it go? Now, some of you might be thinking that why this low is working, and why this low is here and the connection is full, and why high is opening the circuit. So the simple answer to is that we know that when a circuit is open, current is not flowing. When a circuit is closed, current is what? Flowing, right? So in normally open condition, in I think, just tell me one thing, that how many of you do have a knowledge of digital electronics? Just type yes. Just type yes. Okay, Harshit Prasad, yes. Maruti, okay, yes. More to go. Samuel, yes. Maruti, no. Okay, I will be explaining. Don't worry. Joydeep, yes. Okay, I got you. Yeah. So basically, in digital electronics, our computer only understands two things. One is on, one is off. This is a layman's term. A bit more intermediate term would be high and low. Okay, and especially in this kind of programming, we denote, like these terms we denote as 1 and 0. In programming we use high and low. One mimics 1, one mimics one mimics high, and 0 meaning mimics low, right? So what is happening in here, that since it is normally closed, like take this example as this thing is normally closed. What is means that this is a already 1. Normally closed is already 1 because it is already closed. Current is flowing, so it is normally 1. So when I am giving a 0 plus with it, then 1 plus 1 is what? 1. Ultimately it is giving a 1, and this circuit is now complete. And when I'm giving a 1 plus 1, when I'm giving a high in here, then it is 1 plus 1 is what? It is 0, 1 in case of XOR gates. Now some of you might not know what gates are. I would suggest you to have a look towards logic gates. You will get it easily. It is available, like it is really easily available. So now if the connection would have been connected to NC, fine, so it is normally closed. So sorry, I'm very sorry, I mixed up this thing. What I did tell you right now is with the common and NC. In case of NO, it is not closed, it is open, fine. When we are giving a low, it is mimicking to be 1. When I'm giving high, it is mimicking to be low. This part is mimicking to be, not this part. Here is some internal circuitry, right? Here it is working as total high. That is, these two wires are now connected. These two wires are now connected, and bulb glows. Now what about other thing is about node MCU. So if I close this, don't save, yeah, okay, where is my PPT? Here's my PPT. Now full screen, yeah, my PPT is visible, I guess. Someone is asking something. Okay, fine. Yeah, in this PPT what is happening is, I will show you what this D5 and D6 is. For an instance, just consider that this thing is your ground area and this thing is your 5 volts area. I will make this more simpler by using the terms that this is a female area, or where no male is allowed. This is a male area where of course no female is allowed. And yeah, please pardon me for this drawing. I am just not a professional artist. I have mentioned this earlier. I will try to make a good diagram in the next session, so please stay tuned. So this is the VCC of this sensor. Now what VCC is? VCC is basically 5 volts. You have to remember these terms. VCC is 5 volt. VVV is also 5 volts. So our Bolt IoT module has a 5 volt. Our Node MCU module also has a 5 volt. Our HCSR04 sensor, ultrasonic sensor, does have a 5 volt. And this DC-in also needs a 5 volt to work, right? So for that reason, we are connecting all the 5 volts into 5 volt portion and all the grounds in the ground portion. Consider it as such that we know that sometimes cats and dogs are not such a good friends, right? So let us consider that the 5 volt is a dog house and the ground is a cat house. So all the dogs go to the dog house and play with each other, while all the cats go to the cat house and play with each other. So yeah, so all the grounds and all the 5 volts are connected together but separated with each other. Now what is this TX and RX, right? TX basically TX mimics transmission and Rx means receiver, right? Transmitter, receiver. Now you would notice that someone has said something about those terms and jokes. Okay, fine. Sorry, I'm very sorry. Yeah. So uh, here this Tx is, so this Tx will be connected to the Rx because this thing is transmitting and this thing is receiving. You cannot connect both the transmitting points, right? Because where is the point then? You cannot plug two positive wires together. It will result into like sparks coming out. Have you ever seen that when you like touch two positive poles together, it gives some sparks. So this thing will not, it will not give sparks, but it will not work basically. So this thing Tx is connected with Rx, the transmitter thing is connected to the receiver thing, and the receiver thing is connected to what? The transmitter thing. Now what is it zero? Well, these all are microcontroller boards, you are well aware of that. So basically the zero is a digital pin. It is a digital pin. It, this board has many pins. I have not like included each and every single pin in here because it is a very time consuming process to write each and every one. For better understanding, I have given less inputs in here. So this pin does have D6 D5 and it does have VVV ground TX as it is where I have written. And this is our bolt module. It has this thing is completely written fine in the bolt module. If you will see that this thing is written sequentially as it is in the bolt module. So this zero is connected with in. Now this bolt module, what it will do, I will give it a API call, or I will take a API call, whichever suits you. Now what API call is that? Please bolt module give me high, please bolt module give me low. Then I will send this data from this zero pin to this in. And that is why when I was clicking on the on button, it was turning on the bulb. And when I was clicking on the off button, it was turning off the bulb. And when I have clicked on the monitor button, it has shown me the live data of the water level. So hope this is clear. Any questions here up till here? Any questions? Okay, so I guess uh, there are no questions. Yeah, Maruti has understood. Okay, so everyone has understood. If everyone has understood, please type yes. Please cheer me up. Yeah, I'm telling them. I'm come to it. I'm come to it. It's in the next tab. Just up till here, everyone has understood. Please cheer me up by clicking on yes. Yeah, I'm telling. Sonu Kumar. Sonu Kumar. Okay, for Sonu Kumar, I'm repeating this thing once again. So what is NO and NC? Listen, NO stands for normally open and C stands for normally close. When this wire, this orange wire is connected with NO and COM, this is the common thing. Okay, this is the common thing. So when it is connected, sorry, this thing is a bit confusing. I am opening the paint once again. So for Sonu Kumar, I will make it simpler. Paint, yeah, paint. So let it be a bulb in here. It has a wire. Let it be this green one is the positive terminal of the bulb. It is here. This red one is the negative terminal of the bulb. It is here. Fine. And these are connected to the wall socket. Fine, these are connected to the wall, so you don't have to worry about it. But make sure to make a cut in here before making your connections. Now, what is happening? Here I will be creating a box which will basically mimic this thing. Yeah. So this is, sorry, chat. What is it? Live and ground wire. Yeah, yeah, Akshay, thanks for the support. Yeah. So this is NO this is COM, this one is NC. So when I am connecting my this wire with this one and this one, and when I am giving a low signal in the input here, low signal in the input here, pardon me, this brush is a bit bigger, yeah, low signal in here, then what will happen? This and this wire will be joined together, because here in this sensors, in this module's internal circuitry, there is a transformer and a optocoupler, which another chat came in, yeah. So this what will do that when it gets low, and when this gets low, it will basically short or connect these two boxes, so that the wires in these two boxes joins together. And when this is high, when this is high, when this is high, let it be the condition that this and this is joined. When this is high, H I G H, high, this connection will disrupt, it will go away, and the vice versa. But the opposite thing is with when this wire, this one wire is connected with this one. For example, yeah, this wire is not connected here, not connected here, fine, not connected here. This wire is connected here, fine. Then what will happen? If you give high in here, this will join. If you give low in here, this will vanish. Now I hope I'm clear. Sonu Kumar, I hope I'm clear. Thank you. Yeah. So yeah, now comes what is this D5 and D6. If I go to Google, I will write node MCU circuit diagram. I will get a number of pictures, right? Let it be, I'm opening this one for simplicity. This one is visible. Okay, please, everyone, please write that this diagram is completely visible to you in a clear manner or not. Yeah, this diagram is visible in a clear manner. Now, is it visible? Yeah, thank you. So what is in here? Please check the names in here. So here you will find D5 and D6, and what it is named? GPIO 14, GPIO 12. Now what is GPIO 12 and 14? GPIO stands for general purpose input
output pin.
Yes. Thank you. Now if I go to the PPT once again, and in this code, I will be explaining this code to you people, so that the logic behind what is happening, how the data is coming, it is completely fine. Then yeah, this code is visible to one and all. Yes, yeah, okay, yeah, this, yeah, just see here at the top. At the top I have written define trig pin D5 and define echo pin D6. In Arduino, this is the syntax to define D pins, the GPIO pins, in case of a Node MC, or in case of a Arduino Nano. You have to define these pins to use it. as this. This is a syntax. Now I have used a variable type long, that is duration, the variable type integer int, that is distance. Now in the void setup, I am declaring that what it should do in the pin D5. What should it do? It should not be sitting blank, right? So yeah, in the pin mode trig pin, it is giving the output. In the pin mode echo pin, it is giving the input. And this is the syntax in every Arduino code. You have to whenever, if you connect any sensor to any of your pins, you will be using these kind of methods to declare it as an output or input. For example, this ultrasonic sensor, this trigger pin, it is giving the output. Now what is this output? When, again I'm opening paint, I will be making this a bit shorter because I have to make you people understand how to use React, right? So here are two eyes, let it be, not eyes, I will like these are two kind of signal emitters. Here signal is getting out, right? It is getting out, scattering. Now what will happen? Let it be, here is a wall. Now this signal which just got out will touch here, and what will happen? This will be reflected back. This will be reflected back and will be taken inside, or the reading will be noted by this one. So this is the principle how basically ultrasonic sensor is working, right? So here the echo pin is the pin which is taking the signal inside, and the trig pin is giving the signal outside. It is ultrasonic wave which is happening. Serial begin 9600. It is basically the baud rate, that is bits per second. Baud rate is bits per second, and what it means that a computer computes basically in bits. Now 1 byte is 8 bit, so you can know that by that 1000 bit byte is 1 kilobyte, and so on. So the serial communication at which both the devices communicate with each other, that the data is sending from one device to other device in this speed 9600 bits per second, that is the baud rate. Now what is in here? Void loop. In the loop, what is this loop? The loop is that every time I am using this code, everything inside this loop will be running. Fine. So I am using this code, I am giving a delay of 15,000 milliseconds, means 15 seconds. So whatever is written in this code will be running every 15 seconds. Fine. So digital write trig pin low, delay is 2 microseconds. So what is trig pin low? It is giving a low trigger. It is giving a low trigger. Fine. That it is low trigger means it is not giving anything. It is not getting anything out. Now the trig pin is high for 10 microseconds. For 10 microseconds, it will be giving out electromagnetic, not electromagnetic waves. It will be giving out ultrasonic waves. And after 10 milliseconds, whatever the reflection is, this echo pin will be receiving it, because we have given echo pin at D6 and it is working continuously. So basically what is happening, to wind up this thing, it is doing a low, it is not giving anything at first 2 microseconds, then it is being high, or it is giving ultrasonic waves for 10 microseconds continuously, then it is again being low. And this is a equation, or this is the logic behind that, how much duration or how much distance is it. We all know that speed of sound is 343 meter per second, right? So in centimeter, this is the equation 0.0343. I have omitted 3 because it makes no sense. 0.034 is fine, and divided by 2, because the wave which is traveling at the speed of sound, it is first going towards the object, then it is reflecting back. So for simplicity, let it be the wave from the trigger pin is getting out of the trigger pin and going towards a particular direction or towards a wall, and it takes a total of 1 second. But you have to understand that the reflection also comes back in 1 second. So actually the distance will be calculated for 1 second, not for 2 seconds, right? Because it is a constant distance. So 2 seconds by 2 is 1. So basically we are doing this distance duration, that is the, well, this is a pulse echo pin, pulse in echo, that is it is always high because it will take data inside, right? So duration is pulse in echo pin high, and it takes the data inside of it. And basically we are now calculating the distance. And serial print ln distance, it will be, if I show you the serial monitor in the Arduino, it will be giving you every distance which is from the ultrasonic sensor in every 15 seconds. Now this is the part. Let's dive into coding IoT like a boss. Actually I have taken this thing from the trailer in Bosch YouTube channel. They have a separate YouTube channel like Bosch IoT. So they always write it IoT like this, BOSCH Bosch. So I just copied it. Anyways, so I'm closing this PPT and I will be opening my VS Code to show you people that what is really happening. Now I could have used a simple HTML, CSS, JavaScript, but this would not make this website so much optimized and so much user friendly and so much less internet consuming. So npm, very sorry, this is working, I guess. Please work. Okay, npm. Okay, I have to restart my code editor. There is some problems, I guess. So yeah, npm start. Just wait for a few seconds. It always takes some time to get loaded up. It is loading. See, I think everyone can see this page, I guess, isn't it? Yes. So basically these animations, these are very simple animations, right? And if I now click on monitor, it will see, if I can show my video right now, I have hold it at exactly 65 centimeters ahead, right? Now I am placing it above about 10 centimeter. So I have to show you how can I, in the video what I have showed. So this, I'm doing the same exact thing. I'm turning on the bulb now. If I can, okay, I can share my this start my camera, so you can see my face, I guess. And when I'm clicking on the off, the light is turning off, and when I'm clicking on the on, the light is turning on. And if I go to the Chrome developer tools, okay, I will be turning off my camera now. Wait a second. Yeah, this is fine. And I am going the Chrome developer tools, and I'm waiting for the data to be fetched. It is fetching data. No worries. It will take some time, 50 seconds or so, because of the delay. As I have told earlier, camera is on. I know camera is on. I know. Stop video. Yeah. Camera is off, I guess, now. See, I have constantly kept at 61 centimeter distance. So that is basically 40. My tank is a 200 centimeter tank. So I have created a logic in here. Sorry, not a 200, 110 centimeter length of tank. So I have created a logic of that. So it is giving me 44.55 percentage. Now I will be explaining what I have done in the code so that this thing is working. So what I have done, I have not done anything magic. This is a easy thing. I think everyone will get it. We have 15 minutes, so I will be a bit fast, try to catch up. See, what is React.js? In React.js, everything is a component. Now, what are components? See, I am importing this button, on button, this off button, this style tag, this button tag, right? These all are components. I have exported all of these in, like, see, in here at the end, if I go export default on button, in here if I go at the end, export default off button, in here export default button, because in this file I'm exporting a module called button. In here export default water level function. Now how all of these things are working? So in a layman's language, these all are basically boxes. We are taking each of the boxes and putting it in our code wherever we require. Right. This is a CSS code. Like, this is a syntax for making it a, what do we say, that mobile friendly thing. So media only screen, max width, if the max width is 800 pixels, so this will be the height and width of the whole thing. Now if I show you, oh damn, I have cut it off. Okay, I am turning it once again, don't worry. Yep. So where is that, yep. And control C, yes, npm strt. So it should be in here. I'll click on the monitor button again. It is in the same thing. Where is F12? Here's F12, and I will be making it responsive for iPhone X. This is the view for iPhone 6. This is the view, and this is the thing, how it is working basically. And now see, these are the transitions which just happened a bit smoother timing thing. So I will be cutting this off and control C to turn this program off. And what is happening in here is that, see, if I close all of these, public and all of these, it is a water level file, and it has many things such as node module, public, src, that is a source. This source has many subdivisions, components, images, sources, anything. And don't worry that I have just given these as the names. It is here, it is nothing about that why I have given these two things inside component, why I have given these five things inside these three things inside the source, and why I have kept app and index outside. I could do anything I want, but I have to change the code accordingly, right? So basically what is happening in React, we all have a main thing, that is app.js. Here is the app.js. So in app.js, this is the topmost layer. Inside this, every box will be coming and going. Every box will be coming and going. Like, to simplify these, that you could you can see that here it is a main, import main from this component.main.js, and this is the thing, directory. If you have ever used the terminal, you know that this is the current directory, this dot and forward slash the current directory, then the next directory name, and then again forward slash, and the main.js name. So if I go to this component, see here the main.js is, and it is exporting too. It is not only here, it is exporting, export default function main. So I am calling this main in my app.js. In the main.js file, here everything is being called. Every component, every box in this web app which is helping me to do this stuff, everything is called in here and accordingly styled. See, here is a button, on button, off button, as I have showed you earlier. Now, actually, the data where it is fetched, it is using a terminology known as fetch API. Now, what is fetch API? If I go to this, okay, this one, on button fetch, off button fetch, main component, data.fetch, app index button fetch. Yeah, if I go to data.fetch, ignore the CSS styling part once, because it's anyone can learn, it's easy, right? So on button fetch, why is that file at src public images source data fetch? Buttons prop on button fetch. Okay, so for the fetch API, I am showing you this and I am telling you how it is getting updated in the next step. For the fetch API, like I am creating any kind of function. This is a bracket function, bracket notation function, which we call in JavaScript ES6. You can go to a like YouTube tutorial and search for ES6 syntaxes. You will get everything how this thing is working. For simplicity, in this function, I am calling a predefined function named as fetch. Here I am giving the API which I have collected from the Bolt Cloud. Then this is inside what? This is inside a off button component, and I am exporting this off button component. And when I am clicking on the off button component in the main, see in the main, when I'm here, it is, if I remove this from my website, which I have shown you a bit earlier, the off button will be vanished. So if I click on this in the website, then what it will do, it will tell the computer, hey, you have pressed this button, so please go to this main file and then check from how where this component or this box has been called. So it will then go to here. So see here, see import off button from dot dot sources dot dot off button fetch. Now what is dot dot? Dot dot is the main directory that this main.js is present in here, right? Is present in here. Then what if where that data will be coming from? Where the data will be coming from? Here it is in the source. In the source directory, we have to go to the sources named directory here, sources named directory here, and we have to take the off button. It is telling the computer. Similar is the case with the on button. I have done nothing in here. In the data fetch, in the, where is that file, button.js, button. Okay, in the data fetch, I have another file named button.js. I have my API key inside that. That is the reason I cannot show you in this live recording, but I will be sharing everything in the GitHub link. I will be writing API key in quotes. Inside that, you can give your API key. So just check what is happening in here. In here, these are all the CSS. These are all the CSS. I will be uploading videos in my YouTube channel to make you people understand CSS, how it is working. So here, basically, this is the data. This is a set data, and this is what? Const data set data. And what is this thing? When you people be at an intermediate state in React, you will see something is there known as use effect hooks, use state hooks. So what is a hook? It is basically a component. It is a lifecycle component. Now you will ask us, what is a lifecycle component? Lifecycle component is something that it stays or it works for a certain block of code. That is, this thing, whatever written in here it is, this thing will not work in other blocks of code. Once I call this button, only then this will work. Now data, set data, fine. Use state this. This is the default writing which will be shown when no data is fetched. This is the percent data. Data will be something which I am, like, by the API calling of serial read, I am getting it, and I am storing it in the variable data, and that file I will be sharing you in a short bit because it has my API, as I mentioned earlier. So data, if data is greater than equal to 110, that is my tank length, fine, that is empty. So the tank is empty, console log is empty. And if the data is between 8 and 110 centimeters, then I will be console logging this data and the percent data. Percent data is basically nothing. It is 100 minus this data and multiplied by 0.909. And what is it? It is basically 110 by 100 because my tank length is what? 110. Now this is the logic. You can go through it in the GitHub repo, right? So here it is, const pick and set pick. Now what is in here? Set pick, I have given a percent data. Now PERCT data, not percent data, PERCT data. And now what is this thing? This is called cleanup thing, dependencies. This is called a dependency. If I am not giving this thing, that this is getting updated, like the pick is getting updated, and it is giving the data to set pick to set something, it is getting updated continuously, right? So I have to give something that it does not make any errors. So these are the dependencies that computer will know that this will never ever be getting any errors by using this. Now this is a fetch data function name. This is a function name, of course. This is a fetch data. Now I have given that while it is a raw JavaScript code that let I is 0. Now let is any variable you can, and const is the constant variable you cannot update. In let I could have given anything 0.1, 0.2, 1, 2, 3, 4, anything I want. So while I is less than 200, I have given a 200. Why? Because I know that my pump will not fetch the data 200 times. I know that. Depending on the pump, you have to give this one. And task I. Now here is a I plus plus. It is a loop, na? It is like getting updated continuously. So in the function task I have created something. Set timeout is another function in React, which is basically creating a delay. So I have given this 16,000, which is 16,000 milliseconds, that is 16 seconds, that the my Arduino will be reading data at every 15 seconds, and my cloud will be getting updated every 16 seconds. There is a 1 second delay which I have given for safety purposes, because it might crash, right? So yeah, here it is given that class name data button, which I have used to edit the height, width, and so on. Now on click fetch data, when I am clicking on this button, then it will do what? Fetch the data. Fine, it will just fetch the data. And I have written the button name monitor, as you have like seen earlier. Then it is basically class name value data. It is also used to update the state and how it looks and feels in the CSS. And this is the data, this is a percent data, which you have seen already. So yeah, that's all. The time is quite up now. I think that the recording will help you, and if you people are interested enough, you can directly contact me. I will definitely showcase you the each and everything, that how it is working. Since it is a 1-hour lecture, so it's not possible for me even for you to grasp everything in these 1 hours, because to come to here I have to work for like 4 months. 4 months ago I just knew CSS, and 4 months from that date I know React now. So it is time consuming process, but it is fruitful definitely. So see you on the other side. Bye bye.
If anyone has any doubt, you can ask him now. The recordings will be available on the website. Swapnadip, if you like to conclude anything?
Yeah, I would like to conclude that the main logic from where the fetch API is working and the data is getting updated, it is in my GitHub repo. I will be sharing the link. So just wait a second. I will be sharing this link in the chat section. Just a second. I guess, yeah, this is a thing. So sorry, I have given to Maruti. I should have given to all. Yeah, done. So if anyone has any problem, please go to that link, and I think so everything will be sorted out. And if it is not, I'm always there to help you people. If so, you can contact me directly with my Instagram ID. It's just @ISAPNADIP. So yeah, that's my ID. Thank you very much.
In the chat, the workshop sessions will be available in the website. It is already, the link is given in the chat. You can go ahead and in a week, this workshop video will also be out. And thank you for joining. Thank you, Swapnadip, for this wonderful session. And thank you to all the participants for joining in the event. Have a great weekend, everyone. We are now concluding this meeting.
If you have any questions, you can ask us. We can end this meeting. If you have any questions, you can ask the Swapnadip, else we can end this meeting.
So Ahmed, React.js and JS are like not so much different. Basically, JS is normally a programming language and React.js is a library. Sorry, it's not a framework action, it's a library of JavaScript itself. Angular is a framework, you can call it, but React is a library, because you can I'm showing you what is the difference. So, okay. So if I share my screen, just a second. Okay, portion of screen is so if I go to any tab, so if I write that React.js, react.org will be fine for the docs. It is a great website and I get a great source for learning React, I guess. React.js. So yeah, see what is the reason? A JavaScript library for building user interfaces. It's a front-end library of JavaScript to build user interfaces. Now, if I go to the tutorial tab and write a code in the browser, see you see this now. This is basically JSX, right? This thing is called JSX because we are using a kind of class name and we are using this render and so on. So this is basically JSX, and we are writing the JavaScript logic as well as the HTML logic in a single page, in a single tab in the VS Code. We are writing it. So it is bit user friendly. And in case of JavaScript, it is just a programming language which you can use to do many stuff, but majority of the people use it to develop the logic in the user interfaces inside a web page. For example, if I have created, I should have the website. I don't know I have it or not, but yeah, if I have created a web page which consists of basically, let it be 4 tabs. Let it be home, about, contact, and travel. So if I click on it, I am just telling you that if I have created the website with only HTML and CSS, now if I click on each of the tab, nothing will work. It will not give any results. But as soon as I give JavaScript into my that program, uh, if I click on the tab, let it be about, then the new tab will be opening called as about, and inside that whatever you have written will be rendered. Now you have seen that if I am like how can I show you this? Yeah, if I am clicking on, let it be any this thing, see, this is a reloading thing is coming. You people must have noticed that when I was clicking on the monitor button in my React app, this thing was not rotating. That is a single page application. This makes React so much different from normal JavaScript because it is very good in case of scalability. It is very good. It is a less sized app. It is a less it is a bug free app because when you write a React code, what will be happening is if you make a simple error, the web page will not be working. And if you think that if you are not making any kind of errors, and if you are not avoiding memory leaks, then the website will work, but for a certain period of time, and after that it will break down, and you can like monitor everything very easily. So as to answer your question that JavaScript and React are different, no, it is not different, but yeah, the syntax is different. It is a bit another level of syntax. We are using JavaScript in React, but not React in JavaScript. I hope I can make sense, Ahmed. Yeah, of course, of course.
Uh, yeah, I can understand actually. Um, the presentation was nice, but
Thank you.
now only I started applying for an IoT.
Okay.
Uh, in your presentation, I can understand all the electronic and circuit stuff,
Mhm.
much betterly. But this codes and in JavaScripts and some of the code you have shown earlier, it's a little vague for me.
Yeah, I understand that because let me be honest with you. Uh, when I first started web development, I didn't understand a single bit. It took me 4 months to understand JavaScript. Sorry, to understand React, and 2 weeks to understand JavaScript. So the thing is that I have given the link of my GitHub repo. You can see it, and you can just go through each and every line I have written, each and every module I have created, and just write that how in the Google you can write it that how you can use a functional component in a React, how you can use a class component in a React, how to learn React, what are the basic concepts of React. Using my code as a reference, you can build your websites too, because it has like create, delete, update operations in it, right? The data is continuously getting updated. It is creating, deleting, it is updating, right? So you can do that.
Yeah, thank you. So, so how you're, data, I mean, you're telling about the sensors, right? The sensors,
Mhm.
how the data is transferred via, cloud to the your code.
Yeah.
That was,
So yeah, it's a nice question. The thing is that my data, which is basically in the hardware, na? The data is basically in the hardware. So your question is how it is coming in the visual representation in the web app.
yeah,
So
yes.
this is the magic of Bolt IoT. I would recommend you to like get a subscription of those, because any cloud service does not come for free. You might have known that any cloud service does not come for free. It comes for free once and only once you have a machine turned on 24/7 with a Linux system in it. So Bolt offers this API calls. There is something I will show you. I will show you. There is something called as API, that is application programming interface. Now what it does, I am giving you a simple example. You have a key. you have a key which can open locks of two different locks. You getting me? You have a key which can open locks of different locks.
Okay.
And let it be there are four such locks that you can open with that key. So when you click on when you insert the key in the lock one, it is opening. You are clicking again, it is closing. Similarly with the other fours, right? So APIs are digital keys, and the data from the data transfer from the host, that is from me to the server, is a lock. To make these things simpler, right? You get it or not?
Not much, I think.
Not much.
You are telling APIs are the keys.
APIs are the keys to access data of
to
mine.
access the servers. To access server data.
Not the server data, the program data. It is if you call it as a server data, it would be a bit harder to explain. It is, it can be a server data, but it can be a local data too. As my local data, my analog data is uploaded to the server through the Bolt IoT API call. I will show you. If I give serial read here, if I give 10 here, 10 is basically the next line. If I build a API request, fine, if I build a API request, my device is completely on right now, and I am placing it over, I guess about how much it is. Let me test it. See, I am placing it over 65. I am clicking it again. It is a bit 65, 66 though, right? You can see it, I guess. It is 65, 66. There is another thing. Now I have like placed it over my table. So I'm clicking on it. It is giving 13, 12, 10. Get it? The distance.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the thing. And by this key, you can, this is the key. This is the link which behaves like a key. You can write into the functions and you can call it as I have done.
So we don't have to, program the APIs, okay?
No. We don't need to program the APIs. The APIs are available for all of us. If you, for example, have a Bolt account, you need not to be a pro to use this one, right?
I do have account.
You do have a pro account. So yeah. So if you do have a pro account, then you just go to this Bolt cloud, boltiotcloud.com, and you can get this link, right? You can get this link. This is a link.
Sorry. So we need a pro account.
No, you don't need a pro account. You can do it with a free account also. Okay, here is some interesting thing I will show you right now. If I paste this link and click on enter, see, the system of my is now placed on the table. So the distance is 0, of course. Fine. And success is 1.
Okay.
You see, this syntax is on the JSON syntax. JavaScript basically manipulates a JSON syntax based files. So by calling that API, I am getting a JSON file, and from that thing, JavaScript, I am using JavaScript to get the value out of this, like this JSON object, right?
Okay.
You got it now?
From this window, you are saying from this code, you are getting a data and fetching it to the JavaScript.
This is not a code. This is a URL. This is the API URL.
Okay.
Yeah.
No.